Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
Andrew.
Hi, Todd.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Tell me about when did you start, and tell me about the biggest challenge that you were faced with.
Being a new fire chief is probably the biggest challenge. You walk into a place, and I think I had a little advantage because I worked here before, so I knew a lot of the faces, knew a lot of people throughout the city, but there was a large turnover in the command staff, a lot of retirements that took place, so kind of that first challenge that I saw is I knew we were going to be hiring new assistant chief, training chief, and that the trickle-down effect of hiring, as you're aware of. Well, Todd, we started about the same time, but why don't you tell me about when you started and what you thought coming into this place, and what big challenges you had coming to the chief position here in Edina?
Yeah, good question. So from my standpoint, my experience coming in the door, the police department has always had a really good reputation across the metro area for the police services, the quality product, the relationships, the culture here, and I knew that coming into the job. One of the challenges that I was confronted with right away was staffing, right? And we talked about that in public safety, that has been a major ongoing challenging. Very much so in law enforcement. We're not seeing the candidates come forward like we used to. We were blessed with that. We're no different than any other law enforcement agency in the metro area right now too. So one of the challenges that we had was how to recruit, how to think about retaining, and thinking about how can we develop out our youth and get more people interested in law enforcement and come through with some good creative marketing campaigns to attract quality people to our organization. So we spent a lot of time doing that. We've had success. We're slowly building back up to where we need to be. We're still a couple officers short, but we're going through a process right now. And I anticipate by winter that we'll be fully staffed, which is exciting for us.
Dispatch is a big part of both of our departments, and it's a department that lives underneath the police department, but we've been able to collaborate, I think, the fire department and the police department on trying to really work together.
Our dispatch center is phenomenal. It's top tier, and one of the great benefits that we get and this community gets is really, really good customer service, both for our residents and also for our staff. And when you have your own dispatch center, it increases and improves response times, right? It gets our resources quicker to the places and locations that need 911 service. Our officers and paramedics and firefighters get that quality service behind the scenes as well. So more efficient communication back and forth, more of a timely response, more information that's critical and that's needed to the in-between between those 911 calls and the time of arrival. There's a lot of information sharing that happens back and forth. You know, and I think on the police side too, a big focus for us is technology, ads, and needs. And as we think about how to leverage technology, because it seems to change on a weekly basis, there's some pretty exciting things in law enforcement that we're focused on over the next couple of years. A couple examples are license plate reader technology, portable license plate reader technology, which are cameras that we can get into hotspots or areas of concern that will report out to us active stolen cars that might pass by the camera, which will feed back into our dispatch center and get our officers out to the locations in a timely manner. Pursuits are a big topic in the metro area over the last couple of years, and dangerous. They can be very dangerous for community members, innocent bystanders. We want to find ways to reduce that at all costs, and so one of the technology ads that we piloted out is something called Star Chase, which just shoots out a puck and it'll fix to the back end of a car, and then we can GPS it around and then figure out where it ends up and then move in and make an arrest that way too, which provides a safer route for all parties involved in a situation like that.
One of the missions that we've talked about is working together with police, fire, getting involved, community involvement, and we had a recent event with doing art in the parks where we brought public safety together, police, fire, Parks and Rec, the art community out and work together. What do you think the result of that was?
I thought it was great. As you know, this was started with one of our officers who came up with the idea, Officer Jepson, and she's our new community engagement officer. And we often say that when we're not responding to the 911 calls, what do we do? It's the preventative side of things, right? Either in law enforcement or also on the fire side. And we spent a lot of time preventing things from happening, but also engaging the community and building that trust. And so those events, there were 3 of them that occurred here this summer, was just that opportunity to get our staff out into the park and get kids involved with art projects and bring in people that could kind of do some teaching, some instructing, get people from the fire department, also people from and officers from the law enforcement side. We had a number of different agencies that also participated in this, and it was a hit. And we had a lot of kids and a lot of parents show up in a very short period of time to announce it and get it advertised, but the results were phenomenal. And one of the things that you and I have talked about is to continue that community engagement work and get people access into the work that we do so they understand exactly the services that we can provide back to this community. Coming from a different city for the last number of years, what would you say has been your biggest takeaway working for the city of Edina?
I worked for the city of Edina before, as you are very well aware. I worked here before, so I knew about the city's values, and I think that sounds cliche to say the city values are what's important here, but they really are. And I think all the staff here embody it. It's a enjoyable place. I come to work very excited. I get to work with people all across the city that have the same intention to serve the residents, and it's really a positive place to work, which makes it fun. The collaboration that we've had in the police and fire, public safety realm is just, it's a special place in that respect.
Totally agree. You and I have had conversations before about the challenges in public safety that we're faced with, particularly in the last couple of years. It just seems like there's ongoing challenges that we're confronted with that we have to adapt to. And with that said, when you think about over the next couple of years and forecasting things out, what do you expect the big challenges to be?
Well, we have a Station 2 that'll be being constructed here. We're working on putting together a design team right now. So we know that will be a big challenge, just designing and creating that fire station with public health included in there is a lot of staff time, and building that so that you're prepared to respond to that southeast quadrant and the entire city is going to be the biggest challenge that I can see close up. But then with that, just ensuring that we're just continuing to evolve as a fire department and stay ahead of the times and stay ahead of that call volume that we continue to see increase year after year. Sustainability in the fire service, we're always looking, we have this opportunity with Station 2 and designing it and really looking at bringing in our sustainability team and making sure that our design team has sustainability in mind as they look for opportunities with the station to build in some sustainability and environmental goals that we can achieve through the construction of those buildings.
Yeah, and on the police side, we've purchased 2 electric vehicles. We're getting really close to rolling one of those out. It's a Ford Mach-E, which is a small SUV, and we're going to try it out and see how that performs out in the field. Battery technology, like you said, is ever evolving, and we're really curious to see how this is going to work out in the winter months, for example.
I have just generally enjoyed my first year here with you. I appreciate our collaboration and continued collaboration. I think the vision that we both have is creative involvement and working together to just continue to solve problems that come at it. So it's been a fun first year, and I look forward to many more.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would say for the both of us, and again, we'd agree to this, is that we're very innovative thinkers. And how do we prepare and position our departments for future policing and fire services? And the last year has been a great starting point. And over the next number of years, I expect that to continue on and be very successful on both fronts.